welcoming you here. Just a reminder that this is Earth Day week, year, decade, and on and on. So we really want to celebrate Earth Day and remember that while we are talking about love as a daily commitment this week, we also want to make our ongoing, lifelong commitment to love nature because that's what holds us all. So our theme for 2026 is open at the top. This month our focus is practice of becoming, and today's message is love is a daily commitment, which will be given by our own wonderful Reverend Charlene Banks. We're so glad that you joined us today. Please feel free to add to the chat or in the comments any prayer requests or celebrations that you would like to have included later in the service when we provide our community spiritual mind treatment, which is a form of affirmative prayer. So now we invite you to get comfy and relax into your chair and this moment as we will officially begin our service with this welcoming video.
Please join us as we create our sacred space. We set our intentions of deepening into our awareness and practice of our 5 pillars of spiritual living by lighting this candle in our virtual world. Our first pillar is sacred study, represented by the divine quality of truth. We use this pillar to recognize the importance of an open mind and the power of our minds. The second pillar is affirmative prayer, represented by the divine quality power. This pillar honors the power of prayer in our daily lives. Our third pillar is meditation and the divine quality of peace. This pillar reminds us of the importance of meditation and the peace we feel when we quiet our minds. The fourth pillar is circulation and the divine quality of life. We know that the great law of circulation works in our lives. As we give, so shall we receive. And the fifth pillar is sacred service and the divine quality of love. This pillar affirms our call to be of service to our world as we see through the eyes of love. Let us close our eyes as we bless this sacred space and our time together. As we weave each of these pillars of spiritual living into our service today, may they deepen our own spiritual practices of study, prayer, meditation, circulation, and service, expanding our minds and our hearts to the 5 divine qualities of truth, power, peace, life, and love. We also bless everyone who made our service possible today and everyone in attendance. May the energy of love that is generated here bless everyone abundantly, and so it is.
And so it is indeed. Thank you, Erin, for that welcoming and opening of the space. Good morning. So as we go into this morning's meditation, I do have some hand motions for us to follow. So just go ahead and sit back. You've made it. Just breathe, relax, and allow the music to take us there. The first thing I would love for us to do is just raise your hands up as we pretty much symbolically bring our attention to the divine that holds us. And then bringing your hands in front of you in a prayer pose, bring your hands down to symbolize the indwelling spirit as it descends from our chakra, our 7th chakra, down into our bodies. Now, breathing in nice and slowly with a 4 count. Hold for 4. And exhale for 8. As you take your next breath, breathing in for 4, holding for 4, and exhale for 8. Allow your hands to separate and bring one hand to your forehead and one to your heart. Allow this to be the bridge between your mind and your heart. As you relax your breathing into your regular pace, say these words in your mind along with me. You don't have to repeat, just let me speak for you, to you. Thank you, thoughts, for keeping me safe. Thank you, mind, for looking for trouble. I now release you from that job. You may now relax and be still. I am aware of my heart space. And in this bridge that has been formed between my mind and my heart, I allow the heart to come forth. In this heart space, I dwell in love. There's a felt sense of wholeness and trust. In this heart space, I don't need to know the path ahead. I am not bound by logic and reasoning. I simply know that all is well. I am safe. I am loved. Life is good. Now continue to breathe in and out through your heart space. Allow both hands to be centered upon your heart. And as you breathe in and out, breathe it from this heart space. I shall be quiet as you discover what messages are here in your heart for you. This is the space we dwell in with gratitude and with a sense of joy and buoyancy. I simply rest. Now I call your attention back into the room. Wiggle your fingers and toes to get your body back to where it is as we welcome Leah, who I shall unmute and spotlight. Leah, I need your camera on if I can spotlight you. There we go. I'll unmute you, don't worry. There we go.
Thank you, Reverend Charlene. This is a song by Karen Drucker. If it's familiar and when it becomes familiar, please sing with me. When I start my day with peace, when I start my day with peace, I feel the sweet relief of peace. When I start my day with peace, when I start my day with peace, I feel the sweet relief of peace. Peace, sweet peace. Peace, sweet peace. When I start my day with joy, when I start my day with joy, everything I do is infused with joy. When I start my day with joy, when I start my day with joy, everything I do is infused with joy. Oh, joy, sweet joy. Joy, sweet joy. When I start my day with love, when I start my day with love, that's what I get more of, is love. When I start my day with love, when I start my day with love, that's what I get more of, is love. Oh, love, sweet love. Love, sweet love, I get more love. Love, 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 and I give more love. Love, love, when I start my day, I start my day. I start my day with peace, joy, and love.
Yay! I love that song by Karen Drucker. And it is so true. When we start our day on purpose, then we're living in divine intention. And I cannot help but wrap up this month, which had a lot of comings and goings when it comes to this monthly theme. When I think about it, though, the practice of becoming, that was this month. Becoming what? Well, becoming more of who you are. Becoming more of the real you. And when you do it, you'll know you're doing it. You'll know because you'll get feedback from the world. You'll move from a sense of trying to fit in and then being scolded for how often you don't fit in. When you shift this idea that I'm already an oak tree, I just happen to be an acorn, right? You're growing through some changes and it feels a little struggle-ish. But the way you know you're on track is because people tell you, wow, thank you for being you, because now you gave me permission to be me. You'll not get negative feedback like, oh, well, you're not good enough. So you see, when you are really being you, people can see it, and they're not going to try to attempt to tell you what you should look like. They're just going to give you shout outs for looking like you look. That's how you know. But I'll start at the beginning here, because the idea of the day is love as a daily commitment. What does love have to do with everything I just said? Becoming yourself? What if I told you love and grace and faith and all those high vibration energies, those are not feelings. Those are your birthright. What? Yeah, think about it. You could cut it off and then you feel like, oh no, it's something I don't have. But if you don't cut it off, it's just there. But we don't trust that. We don't trust that. How could love, grace, faith, how could those be my default settings when clearly I'm looking around and I can see that life, it's not doing that. It's not very loving. It's not something I could have faith in, because if I don't worry about everything, then things might not work out. In fact, I'm hand in hand partaking in my destiny by making sure that I worry about everything, because if I don't worry about it, then it might not happen. These are the streams of thought that come to us unbid. We didn't ask for them, they're just here. It's the common way of thinking. But what if I told you that your birthright is love, very open-hearted action and connection and faith? Now, how do I know that? Because we have to work hard to not feel it. We grow up in a family, and I don't know about your family, depending on what family it was either really easy or really hard to feel other people's feelings, to be connected with each other, to be what they call intuitives. Sometimes if you're an intuitive person, an intuitive child, you might be tempted to just go stay in your room, because when you're around your family, it might feel like, ugh. No, that wasn't necessarily me. I was the wild child, always dancing, always trying to clown around, and I was told to sit down and hush. Sit down and shut up. But that's fine. The idea, though, is that at some point we started shutting down our joy, our openness. We started shutting that down. We got some feedback that wasn't good, so we started shutting it down. So I'm just saying that you were born into a world of openness and love, and then conditioning taught us to not go there. Don't be so sensitive. Don't try to connect so much. Play a game of deception and then you'll win. It just became a lot of competition is what happened. And all we have to do is not do that. Sounds a little too simplistic. Well, I'll walk you through it. And I was going through a meditation this morning, and it had to do with holding your hand really tight, kind of like what Tamara brings us through, those meditations about holding your hand tight. And the meditation guide said, if you keep doing that, you're going to cut off the blood flow to your hand. This is not a natural position. And then the minute you let go, the blood just flows, because your circulatory system is designed, it's a closed system with a set of pressures that automatically move through and provide all of the nutrients our body needs at all the extremities by default, as long as we breathe, which thankfully just happens. We trust that stuff because we know that physiologically this is how it works. But then spiritually, we're not so much into the idea that love is just here. It runs through our veins the way our oxygen is carried through the blood cells. We don't trust that. We think, oh no, I got to clench up. I've got to approach my life in a type A, very anxious manner so I can control things. Because if I don't, it's not going to go well. And we've created a world that is so small that only a certain tiny narrow path is going to be one of happiness, and everything else should be resisted because oh no, can't trust it. We did not bring ourselves into the world with that energy. We learned it from other people who were also afraid and who were holding on white knuckles to some situations that they thought they're good. So what happens? What do we do then? If love could become our daily commitment instead of survival or the abatement of fear. Notice, some people just want to get rid of the fear. So they'll say, well, if I love, that's kind of terrifying. So I'll just kind of stay with the the devil I do know is better than the one I don't know. You hear a lot of these thoughts. These ideas are floating in the common culture. And if we don't have a higher practice, we get sucked into that current and we just get taken along the current. We're flapping around. We do have the ability to set an intention to make love our daily commitment. But what does that look like? Well, first of all, let's get rid of the notion that love is a feeling. It's not. This is the failing of the English language. I learned years ago that the Chinese have like 30 different words, symbols, which represent words for love. We've got like one. So it gets a little tricky. When we talk about love, sometimes in our language, it starts to call up feelings of romantic love. Oh, so beautiful. Or the baby's so cute. I love that baby. Or look at the puppy. I love the puppy. We use love so much. It's ridiculously conflated with all the things. But if we step back a bit and say, okay, in this context, Charlene is talking about love, not the feeling, but a daily practice of giving and communing with life. And it doesn't have to be always animated life. It could be a sunset, feeling love, just that sense, not even a feeling, it's a sense of connectedness to the world around us in a way that makes us want to take care of it in whatever way we can in the moment. So now, if love is not a feeling, but it's a actual felt connection to life and our environment, a oneness that we've almost stopped believing in. What if every day you woke up and said, all right, I've got a few options for how I can be loved today. I have a list here. I can give a list of gratitude first to myself and then to the world around me. Did you notice that if you just notice something really nice about someone and say it, don't just think it, say it out loud to them, that's going to change their energy. They'll be like, oh, she noticed me. And it's a little tiny thing. You were already noticing it anyway. You just happen to say it out loud. That little extra step, that action is going to be one of connectivity. It's forming a connection rather than you're just observing life as if it were a Netflix movie. What are we doing? We're interacting. We're in the movie. We're in it. This is our show. So we get to lift people up when we can, notice what they're doing that's good, and comment on it. That's one. There's another one, an act of kindness that goes beyond just words. Maybe it's a smile. Maybe it's a nod. Sometimes when I'm walking my dog, I see the people across the street, depending on how much we give each other wide berth. When you have a dog and they have a dog, just like, separate. But sometimes it's a head up and sometimes it's a Notice people and acknowledge them. And if they return it, great. If they don't, that's fine. Here's another one. Meditation and prayer. Just connecting to who you are before you start your day. That changes you. Now I'm going to hang out on this last one a lot because I just came back from a huge conference. It was a lot. And I remember 2 weeks ago I was at another conference. So they were back to back, and it's, I'm sure, not a mistake, the way that I'm learning so much about myself and the world around me, and I get to practice the things I teach. But when you're coming from a sense of I am enough, I am whole, perfect, and complete, and in my veins runs not only the plasma of life, but also grace and love. It holds me up. I'm not dependent on any external situation. That changes how you walk in a room. I'm telling you this because last year, when I was at the same convention, at the Google convention I'm referring to, I had a lot of angst and a lot of worry about what's next for me. Things were weird. There was a lot of things were changing. And I think I might have been walking around with a little anxiety, looking people in the eye for, what do you have for me? What can I get? How can I get something? And it was as if the world out there had something that I need, and I just needed to position myself in order to get it. Think about a goalie, a soccer goalie, whose job is to, if that ball's coming, I'm going to go get it. How calm do you think in your mind? Just think about that goalie during a game, a really high-powered game. Now the ball's coming near. That goalie's like, right? Moving around, just trying to I felt like that inside last year. This year, totally different energy. Now, Blake and I, my son, we had a conversation about why that might be and how I'm still not quite fully possessed as I thought. And I'll give you a story. I'm sure the story will probably come up. But the idea that a year ago, I was feeling like I need to catch my good. It could be coming from anywhere, and it's coming from out there to me, and I just need to be good enough, low enough, and agile enough, even with these knees, and catch that thing, because it's coming. And this year, I was kind of like, well, I'm here. How can I help? That was, there's no other sentence. I'm here. How can I help? And then being fully present and helping the way I need to help in whatever situation. Of course, I had to do a couple sessions of training, and then there were a couple of sessions where people, I kid you not, and it's not a flex, I'm just telling you, that they were like lined up to meet me and say hi, and to say how, this is what's important, to say how me being me, let them be them at work. This is the feedback. This is how you know you're on the right track. And of course, everybody wanted selfies, so I've got to put them all up on LinkedIn soon. My point is that maybe they said the same thing last year, probably did, but this year it just really hit me because I've only been saying yes to the things I really want to do, and then when I come to do it, I'm fully myself. And I've told you this over the years. We've talked, and now it seems like the domino effect, the cascading effect of one person just being authentic in a way and not necessarily prescribed, following a prescribed path, carving one's own path based on one's own energy. We talk about it here. All of a sudden that seems to have been really great because people were getting up on the mic and talking about how they got promoted and now they're in the room and they're leaning in and they would have never tried it before. But then they saw something. I helped them see something by just being me. Now, I'm just teaching AI and IT. But what they saw was something deeper. And that's what I'm offering here. That when we wake up in the morning and we decide to, am I going to honor who I really am and just give voice to that, knowing that's the first act of love, is love of self, then showing up in the world authentically, and then just here to help. How can I help you? How can I serve in this moment? And I don't know what it's going to look like, but I'll give all that I can in this moment, not trying to get something, because that's just like the goalie trying to get that ball. Instead, just like, come on. Either there is no ball or there are an infinite number of balls, but I don't have to do all that. It changed everything. So that's interesting to look back and see how one daily commitment over time compresses and expands to multiply out to others. And we talk about a ripple effect. We don't even know how far that ripple will go, but also it's none of our business how far it goes. So to Blake and my conversation, he noticed something. He says, I was listening to you talk to Grandma, because I was there with my parents. Shout out to Dad's 92nd birthday. Woot, woot, go Dad. Sorry, had to celebrate you. So listen, Blake said, I heard you talking to your mother, and here's what I noticed. You were talking about your business, and you kind of sounded like a victim. And now, of course, I was mad at him because it was all his fault, and how dare you, and from your point of privilege, well, you're a man, and you never have to fight for your place at the table because you're a man, and they always just put you in the front of the table, and I have to fight. And these were the thoughts I thought of, and then I was like, wait, I think he's right. Now here's why. I was speaking of different opportunities coming through my 2 training partners. I got 2 training partners. They equally put me out there, and that's currently the main source of my income. And I was speaking as though my ideas are not being held, because I have an idea of holding community and taking cohorts of people and moving them through a deeper training where we're training the whole person. And they can't hear me though, and I'm mad. And I caught myself. I said, oops, I'm doing it again. I'm speaking about my ideas as if they won't let me be me. Okay, shout out to the youngin'. He's right. I am speaking from a victim place. But I didn't really get it in the moment. I got it when I was standing in front of one of the little breakouts at the women networking session, and this lady stood up, and the leader of the thing, she stood up and said, remember in our training when we had the executive panel, and one of them said, if they don't make a place for you at the table, if there's no chair, bring your own chair and sit at the table. And then she continues on the microphone, and if they won't let you sit at the table at all, build your own table. And everybody was like, yay, yay. So I'm helping you see how I finally arrived at my next aha moment, which was, oh, okay, I get it. So if I'm sounding like I'm not in my power when I'm talking to my mom about, and they won't let me, and this one, and they don't, and I can't, and if that's sounding like a victim, it's because it is a victim, because I didn't realize that there's another thing I can do. If they won't let me, then I let me. I'm going to do it. Build your own table. So it was kind of cool, but also kind of scary. And that's how you know you're on your right path. And again, your mileage will vary. You're going to have different feelings about different points in your life. But remember the markers. You know you're on the right road. Even though you don't have the whole map of the whole journey, even though you can't even see around the corner, you can trust that the steps that you take are building the road that you're going down. Yeah, and the trust and the faith is running through my veins. It's already built in. I don't have to worry about, will I be able to breathe next month? I don't know if my lungs are going to expand. Girl, worry about something else. Your lungs are going to be fine. Move. And so now I'm like, okay. So remember the markers on the path. Way back when I was on the wrong road and it kept saying, turn back, wrong way, what it looked like was, you're not good enough. Why don't you be more this? Why don't you, just people telling me to sit down and shut up. And in that world, I thought maybe I'm too low on the rung of the ladder. Imagine the ladder leaning against the wall. I got negative feedback on the lower rungs. I decided maybe I should climb up higher on that same ladder. All I did was just get frustrated because no. So Stephen Covey says, sometimes when you're really struggling to climb a ladder, you should probably check to make sure it's leaning against the right wall. Facts. So I climbed down my ladder, I scurried, and I put it against the correct wall. And that's one of my feedbacks on the path is now they're saying, oh, jokes? Tell more jokes. Your energy, we love your energy. People lining up and saying, how do you do it? And then me having the courage to say, see, last year I said, oh, it's coffee. This year I said, because I have a spiritual practice, there's another side to me. Y'all don't see it because I think it's rude to talk about it in tech classes. But what you're seeing is an alignment of my head and my heart, and I'm living on purpose. I say these words, and they're like, oh my God. They're like, they get it. I didn't get people running out the door because she got too woo-woo. They are leaning in and saying, tell me more. That is what changed this year. So people saying, how do you do it? Your energy is so great. My ladder's leaning against the correct wall, and I'm not being told to sit down and shut up. You're at work, stop chatting with everybody. I'm told, tell more jokes. Oh my God. And you're the only one, I can listen to you all day, and I now know tech. That's what they're telling me. So follow the yeses as long as it's a yes for you. If it's a yes for you and it's pissing them off, wrong wall. the right ladder. Change the wall, change the room you're in. If you love it, but everybody hates it, change the room. There's somebody who loves you. You just need to get in there with them. Now you're in the room where you're on a ladder and you love it, they love it, and then you're not climbing fast enough. Do you need to build your own table? I realize I have mixed several metaphors and I've tortured them all. I do apologize. But you get my point. You get my point. If you're going to be true to yourself, just check the feedback. Watch the room. Make sure it feels in alignment, not just for you, but for everybody who's there. And I think that creates a current on a river that you do want to be in. And then if you've ever gone on a lazy river, it's all about kicking back, not struggling, rolling with that current that is going in the direction that the divine put it in place. I didn't do this, but the way I blew up my inner tube and flopped on my bikini and jumped on it, yeah, I can definitely leverage this thing and use it so that I'm even more effective and so that everyone is elevated. Now, what you don't hear is a lot of isolation, learning in secret and doing things privately and not sharing. That's a recipe for disaster. We're here to share and grow and learn together in a blameless, compassionate environment where we're all being uplifted by each other's insights. So love is more than a feeling. It's a way of being. It's a way of showing up in the world. And it allows us to stop blocking our connections to others out of fear. With love, you're trusting in a higher love, not necessarily in human love, because that will always let you down. Humans love really messily. But if we let the divine love us first, then we're not looking to get. We're coming from a place of overflow and we're looking to give. And then how can I help? And we give all we can, but never giving past our boundaries, never giving in a way that makes ourselves feel like we're being compromised or like we're bargaining or somehow trying to gain favor. That's not the right kind of giving. Only give where you are led to give, where it feels like you're giving from the overflow, never more than that, because then it becomes, there can build some resentment and you'll start thinking, oh, this love game is not good. It's not for me. People just use me up. People can't use you if you don't let them use you, right? But yet part of us is here to be used. And only you can decide where that line is and communicate that line. The line will change, but hold that line wherever it is in the moment. I felt the need to say that for some reason. But finally, your revelation of who you're becoming will be rewarded. And I can say abundance in the form of checks, abundance in the form of other terms of wealth, friendship and community being the most palpable one. Because those people with a lot of money but no friends, they're real sick. I mean, just not only bodily sick, think that what is the dude who starts with an H? He had a bad time. Oh, he was just so rich but then couldn't buy health. That's what I mean. And so rabbit holes, rabbit trails, I do go down them. Anyway, so the point is, it's a revelation of becoming more of yourself. Love is you blooming into yourself. As long as you, the blooming one, have tapped in to your root. The tap root is the long stem. It's like a long straw that goes under the earth and grabs water from underneath. If we could tap into our rooted source of fresh water, that is spirit serving you, giving you all of what it is, then you rise up in all of your unfurling glory, whatever it looks like, and allow that to bless others. And then not trying to be different, not trying to jump over to another type of plant, being who you are, rooted where you are, and blooming right there, giving of yourself. And that is enough. That is enough. Can we do it? I think we can. Call to action for you then is this. Today and this week, what thoughts of wounds can you turn into a way of becoming more yourself? What wounded self may have caused you to almost turn in and get smaller? Like right ladder, wrong wall. What wound can we then reframe to a different scenario where that same action would be blessed, would be wanted, would be uplifting for yourself and for others? What wounded self who was hiding because she's hurt can now come out and be all of herself, as long as it's being received in the right company. Only you know that, and just think about this from day to day this week as you decide every day, what act of loving kindness am I to be in the world? Okay? A couple things. What wound and what act of love? I can't wait to hear how you report back on this. I'm excited to see the unfolding of our community. That was Blake. All right, let's go ahead and go into prayer. Let me check to see if there are any prayer requests. All right, there's a divine energy moving through the universe. It just is. This is the life force that we call the divine, that we call the one, that we call God, Muhammad, Buddha. What do you call that energy? You see, it doesn't matter what you call it, but it does matter that we are all it. We are all emanations of that one. We are all threads in that one tapestry. We are all energy in that one field of possibilities. So call it what you like. Just know we're connected through that one. We can't be separate from it. And in that one is divine knowingness. It is perfection. We therefore are perfection. We simply need to move away from the ideas that are not really us to what is really us. And it is in this path that we're held. We are given feedback. We are given guidelines and pointers. We are led into our highest self if we only allow it. So I speak my word that every person here is led personally, as if a concierge had laid out the plan for you, to your highest good, your highest self, where you can be the most loving, the most compassionate, the most giving being that you could possibly be, because that is our purpose. And I hold this to be true for each and every one of us. I stay in a state of gratitude as I watch it unfold, unfurl, and stay rooted. I release my word into the divine, knowing, hey, it's already done. I let it go, I let it be, and so it is. And now, Leah.
And so it is. So this is a song that definitely is coming through that overflow experience of just being so filled up with love that in my case, I can't not sing. I see sunshine, I see shadows. Somehow light meets up with water and makes a rainbow. And when teardrops fall from heaven, may they wash away my doubts and second guessing, and leave me falling in love with life all over again. Yes, I'm falling in love with life all over. When I see children, I let them teach me how to greet this world with open arms and let beauty reach me. I start laughing, and now I'm singing with the birds, the bugs, the bells inside me are ringing. And I'm falling in love with life all over again. Yes, I'm falling in love with life all over maybe I'm beginning to learn who we are. And when I see that fire in your eyes, I feel ready to fly. Hey, maybe everything really can be alright. Under moonshine, spirit calling, I'm intoxicated, and you know I'm falling in love with life all over again. And again, you know I'm falling in love with life all over again. Yes, I am falling in love with life.
Wowzer. Wow, Leah, I can tell that that's an original song, and it really sounds like you. What a beauty. And by the way, you are a vision of spring green there in your backyard. It's just, you look beautiful, girl.
Blessed. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh,
Keeping me
and
with her today.
and Shar, really a good one. Really great. Wonderful. So now we have to transition into the earthly plane. Now is the time to bless the donations that are shared today. At CSL Leesburg, we believe in the law of circulation, so we are a tithing community. The donations shared with our center bless everyone, those who give and those who receive. Really important, that receive part. Your donation helps our center, our CSL home organization, as well as organizations that support our vision of helping to create a world that works for everyone. We're always looking for suggestions of organizations that we should consider, so go to our website and click Give. Please look at our screen. There are many ways to give. It's easy to find a way that works best for you. You may also go to our website, cslleesburg.org, and click the Donate button. So we thank you for your support, no matter how you are giving. Take that gift physically and place it in your hand. And I'm getting ready to scroll down here so I can help lead you in this. And then place that over your heart, or symbolically over your heart, and join us in our affirmation of oneness. Here we go. The presence of Spirit within me blesses everyone I meet, tends to heal everything I touch, brings gladness into the lives of everyone I contact. Therefore, I'm a blessing to myself, to humankind, and to the day in which I live. And now it's time for announcements.
Who's doing the announcements?
Oops, you're muted.
There's no announcements. You could walk us out with the I am love affirmation.
All right. So as we end the sacred time together, let us once again place our hands over our hearts and say, and this is when you're supposed to unmute and shout it out, kids. I am love.
I am love.
I am love.
Oh, that's pretty good. Now let's point out there at the world and say, you are love.
You
are
are
Our love.
Ooh, this is good today. And now, here we go. Put your hands up in the air for love sprinkles. This is definitely a new thought thing. It's all love.
It's
all
love.
All right. That's very nicely done. So if you could stay for a few minutes, please feel free to join us as we share our pearls, those little nuggets that we got from the service that spoke to our hearts and minds. If you're a visitor, please stay and introduce yourself. We'd love the opportunity to greet you. If you have to leave, we know that you'll have a love-filled day with lots of joy and blessings.